Yay Networks.
To be honest, is the pod going on? To be honest, sit down, we need to have a talk. Cornelius gon' make a point that the others don't. Them other shows sound the same, come escape the box. Expand your mind, dig into no controversial topics. He ain't scared to keep it real. Tune into this podcast, but don't be in your feelings. We gon' have a laugh, we gon' talk about some pain. Let's talk about the present situation of today. To be honest, is this the podcast? I need to tune it right now.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cornelius Lindsay for another episode of To Be Honest. I hope that you were encouraged. Last week, I had Brittany on and we were talking about seasonal depressive disorder, something like that. But anyway, nevertheless, it's like, you know, when you start feeling sad because the sun's going down. Like, I mean, it's like 5 o'clock. Like people are like, oh, yo, it's 9 o'clock outside. And it's like, no, bro, it's literally 4:45. And so it's insane. But just, it was good to just have somebody on to just talk about, you know, the scientific and the psychological part about what's going on the inside of us, especially when everything is happening. But nevertheless, as we kind of move on, you know, I wanted to just take some time to just kind of encourage you. All right. So I really want you to hear me when I say this. You know, we have been through a lot. And when I say we, I'm not talking about me in general. I'm talking about my family. I'm not talking about, you know, I'm not talking about any one or two people in general, or specifically, I'm referring to all of us collectively. We've been through a lot and we're still going through a lot. And if you look back over 2022 or 2020, if we go back to March, if we go back to April, if we go back to lockdowns, we were, you know, put inside of our homes, and we didn't have church in many places. We didn't have we had grocery stores, but many churches were shuttered. Many businesses were closed. Then as things started to open back up, some of those businesses didn't open back up. Some of those churches didn't open back. Some of those businesses stayed shuttered, and some people stayed locked in their homes. And while we were caged away physically, I just want to make sure that you don't run from the idea that you have to be caged mentally. And I think that being caged mentally is the worst imprisonment of them all, because being caged mentally means that no matter what I think, I'm not going to move physically. Oftentimes, it's not the bars that keeps people imprisoned. It's not the physical ones that they can touch. Rather, it's the bars in their mind. It's that limitation that they feel like they can't get over. And my recommendation, my encouragement to you right now is that it is time for you to finally come outside. It's time to come outside. It's time to stop walking and living in fear. It's time for you to step out of the box. It's time for you to step out of the house. It's time for you to step into something, to step out of something and step into something. Isn't it interesting with the story about Jesus and Peter, as Jesus walking on the water, and then Jesus summons Peter out of the boat. And you have to understand something. Peter was not the only person in the boat. Jesus could have very well asked them all to get out of the boat, but he specifically told Peter to. Peter was speaking to him, so Peter gets out of the boat. Notice that Peter, in order for him to step onto something, he had to step out of something. And we talk so much about, you know, him walking on the water, and we talk a lot about him almost drowning in the water. But oftentimes we do not talk enough about the fact that you have to step out of something in order to step into something. You know, 2022, I mean, you know, if you're getting ready to do something, if you're saying, you know, the new year is going to be my best year, if you have heard anything I've ever said, then you know I loathe those statements. I hate them. I hate New Year's resolutions. I hate all of that. I hate all that stuff, because a lot of times it's wrapped into new year, new me, which in actuality is just a new year. It's just nothing is going to change except the turn of a clock. That's it. And nothing will change unless you begin to make the proper changes and unless you begin to plan. So like 2022, 2021 was going to just be a full year for me to just relax, heal, go through trauma, learn self-care techniques, work on my family, build my marriage, become a better father. That's what the year turned in for me. And it's very interesting because I was talking to another pastor, and he was like, he said, I don't understand why you need to take time to do that. And isn't it interesting because in Psalm 23, David, he says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And then he said, he maketh me lie down in green pasture. I think sometimes we look over that and we don't look at the first two words. He maketh. The first three, he maketh me. He made David lay down. He made David lay down, and it could be that God is telling you, hey, I'm calling you to lay down. I'm making you lay down right now. I need you to lay down I need you to lay down beside still waters, because the environment that you're in is way too hectic. And I know, and here's the thing, y'all, I know that y'all are out there killing it. But the only thing that I'm saying here is that the great thing about rest and getting good soul care and practicing that and getting healing and all those different things in areas where you need it is, I know that you're killing it, but I just want to make sure that what you're killing isn't killing you. I want to make sure that the pain and the turmoil and all those things, that they're not killing you. Because here's the thing, you can carry it well, but just because you carry it does not mean that it's not heavy. And you could still be carrying things from the time that you were 9 years old, and you're still carrying them today. And it's time for you to let those things go, but you have to, you need to go, and God needs to maketh you. It never failed that every year, for the past 12 years, I would always get to that place where I was like, okay, Heather, I'm getting sick. And I would have to be in the bed for like 2 or 3 days. And I knew it happened once a year. And then I kind of got smart enough to it. I was like, okay, God, obviously you're telling me I need to rest. I'm running my body in the ground because I'm just keep going. And he's saying, yeah, I'm making you lay down by still waters. I'm making you do it. So maybe you need that. Maybe 2022 is not a time of production for you. Maybe it's time for you to rest, because you've been producing a lot anyway. You've been doing a lot, and you've been going at it. You've been good and all this kind of stuff. And, you've been trying to get this. You've been hustling and all this crap. And now it's time for you to just chill out. But for some of you, this could very well be the time where it's like, well, it's time for you to step out of this into this. But here's the thing: if you're going to step out of something, you need to start planning for it. Like we're already in November. Start planning for what you're going to expect. I'm planning for a book and podcast tour, 12 cities. It's going to be amazing. Atlanta, New Orleans, Charlotte, Detroit, Chicago. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go every single place. Great production setup that we have planned and all this other kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun. But, the planning starts now, and it's a lot of, details, flights and, the kids and my wife and the this and the that and who else want to fly in with me and especially. So it's like, it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of things behind the scenes, because I don't want you to see it and then assume that it just happened. Like, no, this has been planning for months. And oftentimes people they want to step into something, but you haven't sat down to start planning for what you want to step onto. So I want you to come out of your house. I want you to come out of the place where you've gotten stuck. I want you to come on out. I want you to let go of all of your fear, because I know we got it. Oh, we scared of this, and oh, we scared of that, and oh, we scared. And everybody's scared of something. I want you to let all that fear go. I want you to let it all go. And I want you to finally embrace faith in its purest, most simplistic form. And oftentimes in its purest, most simplistic form, it's just a place of planning, where I'm just going to sit down. God help me, give me wisdom to show me what kind of steps can I make now for the place where I'm going. Like if they had a Waze app back then with the children of Israelites, I would have just put the address for the promised land in a Waze app, so I wouldn't have been lost. But that's proper planning. It would have let me know how long it was going to take. If I want to take an alternate route, it would have let me know. Now we have technology that gives us the tools to be able to plan properly. But the most important tool that you'll ever need is the tool of prayer. Were you asking God exactly what it is that you want me to do? And then allowing for his peace to lead you in the path of righteousness, to lead you in the path of where he wants you to go. It's the peace that summoned Peter out of the boat. It was the peace that allowed for Peter to walk on the water. It was the turmoil of the storm around him that caused him to sink. And maybe God wants you to lay down because the turmoil is way too much for you to carry. But as you move forward, as you continue to learn what you need to learn, do what you need to do, I just want to call you out of your house. Get out of your house. Get out of that place where you're comfortable. Get out of that place where you have refused to be creative due to the fear of everything that's going on. Get out of that place. Get out of that place. Get out of your house and start, instead of allowing for your fear and your trauma to rule you, it's time for you to face your fear and your trauma. It's time for you to deal with it. Deal with it once and for all. Because at the end of the day, nations are waiting on your obedience, but they want a healthier version of you. Hell, I want a healthier version of you. You know what I mean? I want a healthier version of you. But if you're getting ready to go, you're getting ready to move, you're ready to do what you have to do, plan for it. But seek the help that you need. Seek the healing that you need. Go in the direction where God is calling you, because he has something for you there. I know he does. But it's time for us to step outside. Step outside of your house. Step outside of your box. Escape the race. If it's a new business, start planning for it. Let's start getting ready for what we're getting ready to step into. Because whatever's working on behind the scenes, success is when opportunity and preparation intersect. I want to make sure that when the opportunity presents itself, I'm already prepared to handle it. Hey, when the big sponsors come, I already got the opportunity for them. I've already prepared just prepared the tour. So when the sponsor comes to pay for all of it, and the sponsors are already here. Here's the crazy thing. When they come, I'm like, yo, we're good to go. That's success. And people look up and say, oh, that just happened to you. God just loves you. You just so blessed. No, I mean, yeah, I am blessed. I'm extremely blessed. But I haven't done anything that you can't do. I don't have any access to God that you don't have. I'm not any better than you. I'm not any smarter than you. Here's the crazy thing. There are people out there who are much smarter than me who are doing much less. I don't know if y'all know this. I'm a college dropout. I dropped out of college my sophomore year at University of Georgia. I dropped out. The beginning of my sophomore year, I dropped out of, I didn't even drop out of college. I walked out of college. I didn't even finish my first semester of my sophomore year. I'm a college dropout. I preached all over the world. I've stood in front of thousands. And ain't nobody asked me for a degree. Ain't nobody asked me if I went to seminaries. I didn't go to seminary. And y'all know my things on that, because I think God is too big to be studied in a classroom. You can learn about the aspects of him, but preachers are made in closets. But nevertheless, it's not my thing. But I go back to the point. There are a lot of people in this world who are much smarter than I am, but doing less. I have no greater access to anything than any of you do. And we all have the same access to God. Why you won't take it? Well, that's a question that you have to answer for yourself. Prayerfully, you'll take the time to answer it. It's time for you to step out. Step out of something. To step onto something. I know you got this because God got you. Be encouraged. I love you. Intro. Deuces. I'm out.